So the first thing we're going to need is 3 different scenes for our different platforms that we will have instantiate when the player presses a specific button for each of those different scenes. The first one I'm going to make is our ramp up. To do this, we're going to need a sprite. And we're going to go to the inspector of the sprite, and we're going to choose the entire tile map that we have for Threadbare. And we don't want all of this, we just want the ramp up section. So I'm going to turn region on. I'm going to edit the region. Now when I zoom out, I can actually drag my box to select specifically region. You can change the sizing to be more precise. I think I can actually adjust this. I know that my pixel height is 128 by 128. So now it's a perfect tile. It does look like 1 pixel off or so. Just gonna drag this down. There we go. So now that's gonna be my up tile for now. We'll do collisions in a little bit. For now, I just want to save my ramp up scene to my components and my platforms folder. And I'm gonna copy both of these. I'm going to press my I'll close a few of these tabs so it's not so busy. I'm going to press my plus button to make a new empty scene, and I'm going to paste. Control V, Command V, or right click and paste. And I'm going to select this, and I'm going to edit the region again. I'm going to make this my ramp down scene. So I'm actually going to put this over here. I'm going to rename this to ramp down. And I'm going to save this as the ramp down scene. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy this, paste some node. And instead of ramp down, I'm going to say flat, flat. And I'm going to go to the sprites region, and I'm going to drag that. We can do this one. You can choose whichever ones you want. But now we have our sprite. I'm going to call this flat platform. So now we have 3 different scenes with our node. Alright, up next, to make our platforms collidable with the player and also to remain static in the scene without falling down due to gravity, we are going to give them a static body 2D. And we're going to have a warning that's because we don't have a collision shape attached to it. It says that we need a collision shape or collision polygon. We're going to use the collision polygon for our ramps because they are triangles. But for this flat platform, we can just use the regular collision shape 2D. We got to give that a shape. Let's give that a rectangle. Size it up to be around the size of the platform. Save that. I'm going to copy my static body 2D node. I'm going to go to my ramp. I'm going to select the root node and I'm going to paste it. But I'm going to delete my collision shape. And instead, I'm going to give it a collision polygon. Because it is a triangle. It's a more complex shape. Now you'll see this weird square with a pink in it. We're going to drag from our pink and select one of our sides. Connect it so that it's a triangle. And then we can click and drag that node so that we now have a triangle collision shape. I'm going to click this static body and copy it, and I'm going to paste it while my ramp root node is selected. And now we're just going to put our polygon shape over here. And now we will save our changes to all of our platforms. And if I go into my main scene, I can drag my ramp up, I can drag in my ramp down, and I can also drag in my flat platform. And let's test out if our player is able to walk on them. He goes up, he goes down, and he can jump on top of the platform. So we now have 3 collidable nodes for our platforms that we will spawn in. Now, instead of just having these in the scene, we want them to be spawned in when the player presses a specific key. So let's go to our project settings, open up our input map. We're going to add a new action. This is going to be place ramp up. I'm also going to add place ramp down. And I'm going to add place flat flat. At the bottom I have these three, but they're not keyed to anything, so they'll never happen if my player presses a button because no button's connected to it. So let's click this plus sign. And I think for ramp up, I'm going to put R. For ramp down, I'll put V. Or for ramp down, I think I'll put V works. And then for platform in the middle, I'll put F. So the three keys should coincide good with the player. You can change them to be whatever you want. But for now, I'll use R, V, and F to place my platforms. That's awesome, but our platforms are going to need a script in order to do what we want. So let's go to our first platform scene and we'll just copy the script over. We can add this scroll button to our root node of our ramp scene. We're going to call this, place platforms script. Place platform script, that works fine by me. And we're going to need a boolean. We're going to say var placing. It's going to be of type bool. And I'm going to set it to true by default because the second this ramp is in our scene, we are currently placing it. We do not want it to be placed just yet. We don't need a ready function, so I'm going to delete that. But in our process function, we're going to say if we are currently placing, we're going to set the global position of our current platform that we are in. And we're going to get the global mouse position. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to make a new function. This function is going to be called unhandled input event. This is a pre-made function. And we're going to say if we are currently placing and there is an event going on, the event is input event mouse button. We're going to say if the event dot button index is equal two equal signs to mouse button left. If we left click and the event key is pressed, I think get this pressed. We're gonna set our placing equal to false because we have placed it. We have clicked our mouse button, which means we have placed our platform. And we are going to get the viewport. We're going to set input as handled, meaning we are done. We have clicked our button. Our event is over. We have placed our platform. I'm going to save this script, and now in my ramp down scene, I'm going to find my placed platform script. I'm going to click and drop it onto my ramp down, and I'm going to do the same to my flat platform script. Remember to save. If there's an asterisk up here in the scene name, that means that there has been changes made that have not been yet saved. There we go. Now we have a script on our ramp up, ramp down, and flat platform. Now we need to reference our scenes in our player script. So I'm going to double click on my player. I'm going to open my player script. We need a variable. We need an exported variable for our scenes, our ramp up, ramp down, and platform that's flat. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom of the export region for variables, and we're going to add a few more. We're going to say at export variable. I'm going to call this ramp up scene. And it's going to be of type packed scene. I'm going to copy this line. Copy this line. I'm going to paste it 2 more times. And I'm going to call this ramp down scene. I'm going to call this flat platform scene. Now when I save this and I check out my player, we now have a ramp up scene, ramp down scene, and a flat platform scene that is currently empty. We can load our packed scene. Load our packed scene, and we can find ramp up. Load our ramp down. our flat platform. They all look like the same image, but they should work as intended. All right, now we're going to add a few functions in order to get this to actually work. So I'm going to scroll down through my functions. Underneath my shrink function is where I'm going to start. I'm going to create a function that says flat or this is just going to be a helper function. We're going to take in something called an action, which will be of type string. And we're going to return a packed scene. Not backed byte array, a packed scene. And now we're going to match our action to our strings. So match action, indent. And now in these quotes, we're going to actually take the exact way we have written these names. So place ramp up, place ramp down, and place flat platform. So first I'm going to place my ramp up. It does have to be spelled the same way as you have in your input map. Put a colon after that, and I'm going to return my ramp up scene. I'm going to copy this. Oh, it doesn't like this because I did a semicolon instead of a normal colon. For place ramp down, we're going to return our down scene. And for place flat platform, we're going to return our flat. Otherwise, we're going to return. Now our function is happy. We're also going to add another function to actually spawn platforms. So I'm going to call this spawn platform. Also going to take in an argument. It's going to be of type, or its name will be the not block scene, platform scene, which is of type packed scene. But this function is not going to return anything. It's going to return void colon. If we do not have, we don't have to. We should be fine. We're going to create an instance. It's going to be our platform scene. We're going to instantiate that. We're going to instantiate this instance. In order to instantiate it, we need to get the tree of our current scene. We're going to add a child. The child's going to be the instance, that variable that we just created. One more thing we need to do with our instance is we need to get its global position and set it equal to get global mouse position. Beautiful. This function's all set. I'm going to create another function. This is going to handle our unhandled input. All you got to type is the underscore un, and it should be ready. Hit tab, and that will be set up for you, but it will take in an event of type input event for all of our actions in. And then we're going to copy the names of our actions. Place ramp up action, our place ramp down action, and our place flat platform action for all of the actions in this list of strings of actions. If event is action pressed, so if our action is pressed, we want to spawn a platform. The platform is going to be platform scene for action and then action. So based on which action we do, which is our letters R, F, and V, based on that, we will find the correct platform scene to actually return. We need to type return at the end of that function. What did I forget? Oh, I forgot my colon. I always do that. Why is it still not so happy? Expected indent or block. If statement needs to be indented. There we go. Now my function is happy. functions should look like this. Now, we play our game, and I queue up by pressing R. I can place my platform by left-clicking. I can press F, and I can place that platform by left-clicking, and I can press V, and I can place that platform. I can walk on these platforms, and that is fine and dandy. Our only issue is, if I press R, F, and then V, you'll notice we have multiple platforms queued up on our mouse. We don't necessarily want our player to do this. That might be a little too powerful for our player to be able to queue as many blocks as they want and just click like crazy. So we're going to go back into our platform script, and we're going to add a signal. Signal is going to be called placed. It's going to be of type platform, which is a node key. Underneath where we set our placing signals, we're going to say place.emit, and we're going to emit it ourselves. In our player script, we're going to add a new variable. Here where we added our export variables for our ramp scenes and our platform scenes, we're going to say pending. It's going to be of type node2d, and by default, it'll be set to null. We're going to go down to our spawn platform function. And above where we created the instance, we're going to say if we have a pending platform, we're going to queue free that pending platform. We're also going to set it to null. Underneath where we set our instance's global position to our global mouse position, we are going to connect our placed signal, and we are going to reference a function that we haven't written yet. We're going to call that function onPlatformPlaced. Not going to like that because we don't have a function written for that yet, but we'll do that in a second. We're also going to set our pending platform equal to the current instance. Right, let's make that function so it stops freaking out. We're going to make a function for onPlatformPlaced. Its argument that it will take will be called platform, and it will be of type node2d. I'm going to return nothing, so it'll return void. And if our platform, the argument that we put into our function, is equal to equal signs to pending platform, if our platform is currently the pending platform, we'll set our pending platform equal to null. State machine, that's not what I meant to type. I meant to type instance. When did that happen? Ah, huzzah. And now, if I save and play, I can hit R, F, and V. And if I hit R and then F, it switches. So we don't have that lineup. There's still one more issue. If I take my platform, I can scoop my player up, move him around. I can tousle him wherever I want. That's because our collisions are currently enabled. We don't really want them to be enabled until we have placed the block down. Let's do that. To get this to happen, we're going to have to go back to our platform script. We're going to add a onReady variable. I'm going to call it collision shape. But you'll notice there's an issue here. We have a collision polygon 2D for our ramp ups and downs, but our flat platform uses a collision shape. That's two different types of nodes. How are we going to reference that? We're going to call it just node for now. We're going to set it equal to a reference of our collision polygon shape. You can click and drag a node that the script is attached to in the scene. The script is attached to this root node, so it has access to this node. We can't just click and drag a node from in here. That script has no access to it yet. You'll need to find a way to path it. Instead, we can click and drag a reference to our collision polygon 2D. And if has underscore node, if our node actually has a reference to static body 2D / collision polygon 2D. So if our node even has a collision polygon 2D, set the node equal to this. Else, if it does not have that, set it equal to our collision shape 2D. Now I know I said earlier that we don't need our ready function, but I lied. We're gonna hit tab on there, and now in our ready function, we're going to get that onReady variable we just created for collision shape. We're going to set deferred, in quotes, disabled, the property that we want to be true. We want our platform to be disabled. We don't want to be able to collide with it when we have first created our platform. So if I run this now and I hit F, I won't be able to smash my player into it. If I hit R, I won't be able to smash my player, move him around. The issue is now our player isn't able to jump on them. So we need to set this to false after we have placed our variable. So I'm going to place that right here under placing equals false. And instead of true, I'm going to make this false. And now when I save and I place my platform, I can't move my player, but I can place it. And now my player can jump on my platform. I'm going to place V. I can't move my player, but now my player can jump on my platform. There you go.